Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video, I am going to be completing my 4th Story Kit Crush project using the Seasons Story Kit from Ali Edwards. For today's story, I was inspired by this card right here that says last season and this season, and it just got me thinking about how life is very seasonal and the different seasons that I have gone through in my own life. So what I have in front of me are a few different things. One, I am going to be using this large photo as sort of the base of the project, as well as this 6x8 journaling page. Now for this journaling, I journaled about seasons or life being seasonal in general, and then I went a little bit into depth about the different seasons of life that I have experienced so far. Then I also have 2 3x8 journaling pages where I have printed photos to go with them. And I am going to be using this portion of the card at the top in order to signify which one was last season and which one is the current season. And from there, the rest of it, I'm just going to embellish and put together, and this is going to be a fun story to tell. So I'm going to get you guys on fast forward and get to work putting this spread together. So let's get started. All right, so let's jump into this page. So the first thing I'm going to do is set everything aside and work first on this full page of journaling. So the page that you see here, I chose to talk about the seasonality of life. So originally when I was putting this page together, I had thought of making these 2 pieces separate. So doing like one spread that had the seasons journaling and one spread that had the last season and this season. But then as I was sketching it all out and doing the whole thing, I figured, why not throw them all together? They all kind of go together anyway. So what I'm doing here is I took the large 6x4 seasons card. It just says seasons, welcoming, opening, believing. And I cut that out. So I just trimmed off a bunch of the excess there so that all I had was the seasons bit and then the little bit of writing underneath. Then I took that striped 4x6 card, which you guys are starting to see that I used every bit of that card that I could because that was the only pattern that was included in this specific kit. So I stretched it to make it last. So for this one, I took a strip that was 1/2 of an inch wide, and I actually cut it down to 1/4 of an inches. Then I'm going to apply one side to the very top of the journaling, then add the seasons, and then add the second 1/4 of an inch strip at the bottom. And I love the way that it looks. I just love it. I will finish off this page by adding the stripe to the very bottom of the journaling as well, just to give it kind of a shelf or a frame for all of those words to go in. This is one of my favorite things to do when I'm working with a physical kit because, as you guys know, I love hybrid projects. I love being able to type out my journaling and literally put an essay into my project. So this works really great to just cut apart those cards, use them as title pieces or as accent pieces, but to still use a bunch of block text of journaling on my page. So that finishes out the journaling side. Next, I'm going to work on this large photo that I printed. This is just from a day I took the kids to the park because ultimately I wanted to end both of these stories with the season that we are in right now, which is parenthood. So I loved this picture of my kids playing on the playground. I added the love this season of life acetate to the bottom of it. It's just a circle. I stapled it on with my tiny attacher and then also put this little chipboard circle that just says the word this on it. So that is just there at the bottom. So that is kind of the bulk or the foundation of this page. Next, I'm going to work on an insert that I'm going to put in between. So this is going to go inside of a 3x8 page protector. And I wanted to just cut off the portions that say last season and this season to use as title pieces. Again, I am taking this physical kit and I'm going to make it look like I did something hybrid with it. Literally all I did was open up a 3x8 canvas in Photoshop, figure out how wide those titles are so I could make sure to add them to the top, start my journaling underneath where those would go, and then I wanted to finish off each section with a photo. So I printed the photo. I honestly don't even know. It might be 4 inches wide, 4 inches tall by maybe 2.5 wide. It could even be 2.75 wide. I'm not entirely sure of the size of that, but I knew I wanted it to have like a white-ish frame around it. So that's what I did. So I just made sure my text went only from the bottom of where my title was going to go to the top of where my photo was going to go. That way I could add both of those pieces on top once I was getting it assembled. Now I did trim these true to size, the 3 inches by 8 inches. And when you're working in page protectors, a lot of times the page protectors are slightly smaller. So I debated just shoving it down in there and then thought better of it, pulled it back out and trimmed off a just tiny little strip off of both sides so that it will slip into that pocket much nicer. Then the last thing I will do is take the 2 chipboard pieces that match the same sentiment. One says last season, one says this season. I'm actually going to use those on top of my page protector, and I'm going to make the chipboard my tabs. So once I get those on there, this spread will be completed. I do want to mention before I let you guys, or before we slow back down, that Tazhi will have a project up this week as well. I forget to mention this later. So make sure to go down in my description box and check out the link that will take you to her project for this week. Okay, so that finishes this one up, and I super like how it came out, you guys. This looks really, this is probably my favorite right here, this title piece. Anyway, I hope that this was a story that inspires you to pull out your older kits and tell stories from your own life. And if you have the seasons kit, this was a really awesome lens to use of what are the seasons of life that you have gone through so far. What were the ups? What were the downs? What was your past season? What is your current season? That sort of thing. I really loved this as a story lens, and I feel like I was able to tell some stories in different ways this time. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would love a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can see all of my future crafty videos. I will be back later in the week with some more October daily spreads coming your way, and then next Friday I will be completing the last Story Kit Crush project using seasons. So hopefully I will see you guys then. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day and a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye now.